Ready to jump into the mind of Michael Saylor. We're talking Bitcoin Prague 2024, his keynote. And let me tell you, this guy, he really goes all in
Doesn't he?
on Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah. And he should. He's the CEO of MicroStrategy, the first public company to really back Bitcoin. And he's become, well, kind of a legend
Yes.
in the Bitcoin space. I mean, what makes Saylor so interesting is he's not just some, CEO playing around with crypto.
Right.
This is a guy who has put everything, his reputation, his company, on the line.
On the line, yep.
On the idea that Bitcoin is way more than just an investment. He sees it as like a total rethinking of money, like how it all works.
It's a complete, like changing the game. Right away, he compares Bitcoin to, get this, the Copernican revolution.
Wow.
It's like astronomy level, shifting how we see the world.
A paradigm shift.
Yeah, singularity where science and economics are like colliding.
Which is, well, it's bold for sure.
It is.
But it gets to the heart of why Bitcoin is so fascinating. To people like Saylor, they aren't just looking for another stock to buy.
Right.
They want something that fundamentally changes the game.
Disrupts it, yeah.
Yeah, disrupts it completely. And to understand his view, well, he's got these 21 rules of Bitcoin.
He does.
Now, don't worry. We're not going to go all textbook on you.
Nah.
We'll hit the mind-blowing ones, the ones that really show you how Saylor sees things.
Through those Bitcoin glasses.
Through those Bitcoin glasses, exactly. And the interesting thing is these rules, they're not just about investing.
Yeah.
They get into philosophy, psychology, even like social commentary.
They really do.
It shows you how much Saylor believes Bitcoin will impact, well, everything.
Every part of our lives, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So rule number 1.
Hit me.
Those who understand Bitcoin buy Bitcoin, and those that don't criticize it.
Interesting.
He's basically saying you can't really judge something until you get it.
Until you get it.
Like trying to critique a painting when you don't even understand what the artist was going for.
Right.
In the Bitcoin world, there's this idea of the orange pill moment.
I heard of that.
When everything clicks, you see the world differently.
Yeah.
Saylor's rule, it gets at that feeling once you truly get Bitcoin. Well, the old criticisms just, they don't matter anymore.
They kind of fall away.
They fall away, exactly.
And he gets that not everyone's there yet.
Not yet, no.
Rule number 2. Everybody is against Bitcoin before they're for it. I mean, it makes sense. Resisting new ideas, that's just human.
It is. It's totally natural.
Like, imagine trying to explain the internet back in the 1950s.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Or even, like, electricity before that.
Right, mind-blowing.
People would have thought you were crazy.
Exactly. There's that quote, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
Saylor's saying Bitcoin's still early, that skepticism is, well, it's to be expected.
Part of the process.
Part of the process, yeah.
Okay, now get ready. Rule number 4 is where Saylor really turns it up a notch.
Oh, here we go.
The Bitcoin is powered by chaos. And the analogy he uses, well, it's a bit wild.
Lay it on me.
Imagine Europe in the 1930s, right before World War II. You could invest in land, companies, art, currencies, but you could also put your money in a Swiss bank.
A Swiss bank, okay.
Now, when war hits, everything gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Buildings, companies, currencies, worthless, but that Swiss bank, safe and sound, holding everyone's assets.
Interesting.
It actually benefits from the chaos.
Wow.
And that's Bitcoin to Saylor.
I see, yeah.
The more unstable the world gets, the more valuable Bitcoin becomes. Because it's decentralized, no one can take it from you.
Not tied to any one place or government?
Exactly. And then he goes even further with the suit up rule.
Suit up.
Yeah, urging people to go all in on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
He compares it to walking through a molten volcano.
Dramatic, much.
That's Saylor for you.
Yeah, that's Saylor. But I get it, that imagery, it's supposed to make you think.
It's supposed to hit hard.
He believes the current financial system, it's that volcano, unstable, unpredictable, and ultimately dangerous.
And Bitcoin, that's his escape route.
But you got to be all in to leave the old world behind.
You can't have one foot in each world.
Nope, you got to commit.
And it's not just about escaping danger.
No.
It's also about true ownership. Rule number 7. Bitcoin is the one thing in the universe that you can truly own.
I like that.
He's tapping into that human need to control something no one can take away.
That's powerful.
Think about it. Your bank account, your stocks, even your house, they can be taken from you.
Frozen, seized, confiscated, yeah.
But Bitcoin, it exists on this decentralized network. No one controls it.
Giving you real ownership.
Exactly. But then he throws this curveball rule number 9. Only invest what you can't afford to lose.
Wait, isn't that like the opposite of going all in?
It seems that way, right?
Yeah.
But Saylor's challenging how we think.
Challenging the status quo.
He's implying that the real risk is not investing in Bitcoin.
Because you're stuck in the old system.
Yeah, the one that's always losing value.
So he's saying clinging to the old ways, that's the real gamble.
Yeah, exactly. And this leads to maybe the most mind-bending rule of all Zekers. Rule number 10, escaping the matrix. This is where Saylor gets deep, man.
Deep. Okay, I'm intrigued.
He's saying that the traditional financial system is the matrix and Bitcoin is the red pill, the way out.
Woo!
You can see why this resonates with people who feel trapped.
Trapped in the system.
They're looking for something outside the control of the powers that be.
A way to take control of their own destiny.
Exactly. So what are we left with? Saylor's painting a pretty radical picture.
He is. He really is. He sees Bitcoin as this massive shift in power.
Away from institutions toward individuals.
He thinks it'll change not just money, but how we interact with each other, how we see the world.
That's a lot to take in.
It is, and we've only just scratched the surface.
Stay tuned, because we're going to dive into even more of Saylor's 21 rules.
Including that laser eyes rule. Oh yeah, there's more to it than just a meme.
Can't wait.
All right, so picking up with Saylor's rules. Rule number 11 gets pretty interesting. Bitcoin insight is restricted to those with a need to know. He's basically arguing that if you're comfortable in the current system, you might not even get why Bitcoin matters.
Right, it's kind of like those fish that live in caves, right?
And yeah.
They lose their eyes because they don't need them in the dark.
Makes sense.
So Saylor's saying lots of people, they're blind to the system's flaws because it hasn't hurt them yet.
Yeah, they haven't felt the pain.
It's not about being smart or rich. It's about experiencing those limitations, those injustices firsthand.
That's when the light bulb goes on, yeah.
Exactly. And once it does, Saylor says, all your models will be destroyed. He's talking about how we think about economics, politics, society. Everything gets flipped.
It's a total paradigm shift.
Yeah, that's the disruptive part of Bitcoin. It's not just new tech. It's a whole new way of seeing things.
And when you see things that way, you got to reevaluate everything.
Yeah, everything you thought you knew. Then Saylor drops this bomb. The cure to economic ills is the orange pill. He's basically saying fiat currencies, they're the disease. Bitcoin is the cure.
It's a powerful statement, especially with all the inflation we've seen.
Yeah, people are losing faith in the system.
They are. Saylor's argument is that these currencies, they're designed to lose value over time.
It's built in, yeah.
It is. But he's not calling for some overnight revolution or anything.
No?
Nope. Rule 14 is be for Bitcoin, not against fiat.
So more of a gradual approach.
It is. It's pragmatic. He gets that Bitcoin adoption will take time.
Building a better system alongside the old one.
Exactly. A parallel system, not about burning everything down right away.
And he stresses that Bitcoin is for everybody, even those you disagree with.
That's key. It shows the inclusive nature of Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's permissionless. Anyone can join.
It's about individual sovereignty, freedom for all.
Okay, now for a rule that kind of stumped me at first. Learn to think in Bitcoin. What does that even mean?
Well, it's about shifting your perspective on value.
Okay.
Instead of dollars or euros, which are always fluctuating.
Yeah.
Saylor wants us to think in Bitcoin terms.
So it's more stable.
He thinks so, yeah, a more reliable store of value.
Like learning a new language where Bitcoin is the base unit.
Exactly. It changes how you see risk, reward, even time.
It's a whole new framework.
It is. But just as you're getting that, Saylor throws another curveball.
Hit me.
You don't change Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you.
Okay.
He's talking about how Bitcoin's core code, it can't be changed.
Even by its creators.
Even by them. So we have to adapt, change our thinking to align with Bitcoin's principles.
Not the other way around.
Right. It's like a force of nature. You can't control it.
You got to learn to work with it.
Exactly. Which brings us to one of Saylor's most famous and misunderstood rules.
Which one is that?
Rule 18, laser eyes protect you from endless lies. Now, I know it sounds like it's just a meme.
Yeah, I was wondering about that one.
It started that way, sure. But for Saylor, it's about focus, clarity, seeing through the noise.
Like all the distractions and misinformation out there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He believes there are forces trying to keep us trapped in the old system.
So laser eyes, they represent commitment to Bitcoin.
Yeah, not falling for the get-rich-quick schemes.
Seeing the long game, the fundamental value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a powerful message when you think about it.
It's about seeing the truth, even when it's hard.
It is. And that focus, it ties into Saylor's next rule.
Okay, what's that?
respect Bitcoin or it'll make a clown out of you.
Oh, he's not messing around.
He's warning against underestimating Bitcoin.
Like, you can laugh, but it's not going anywhere.
Exactly. Bitcoin doesn't care about your doubts. It just keeps growing.
Driven by math, not emotions.
Exactly. All right, we're nearing the end of Saylor's rules here. What's the grand finale?
Yeah, lay it on me.
Well, rule number 20 is probably the most controversial.
Oh boy, what is it?
Do not sell your Bitcoin. He actually compares selling Bitcoin to wasting your life force.
Wow, that's serious.
He's all in, no doubt about it. He believes Bitcoin is way more valuable than any fiat currency. He sees it as the ultimate store of value.
Something to hold for the long term, not trade away.
It's more than just financial gain. It's about being part of a movement.
Exactly. A shift that'll redefine money as we know it.
He's asking us to rethink what wealth really means.
To move away from material things towards a more enduring kind of value.
This has been quite a journey, exploring Saylor's mind.
It has. His perspective is really unique.
Even if you disagree with him, you can't deny he makes you think.
He challenges the status quo, that's for sure.
And imagines a future that's hard to even grasp.
He does. He compares Bitcoin to a virus, spreading a new way of thinking.
A virus, huh? So what do you think? Is Bitcoin a good thing or a dangerous thing?
That's a question we all got to answer for ourselves.
I mean, it could empower people, break down old power structures.
It could, but it's rapid growth, the volatility, there are risks.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is.
Yeah.
This deep dive, it's just a glimpse into Saylor's vision.
A taste of what he sees coming. If you're intrigued, you got to check out his full keynote. Search Michael Saylor 21 Rules of Bitcoin on YouTube.
It'll blow your mind.
It might. And hey, keep those laser eyes focused. Stay curious.
All right, we've reached the final rule in Saylor's Bitcoin Playbook, rule number 21. And it's a little unexpected. Spread Bitcoin with love, not hate.
Huh. Yeah. That is kind of surprising coming from him, Mr. Bitcoin maximalist.
Right. You'd think he'd end with some call to action, some revolution.
Yeah, fire and brimstone.
Instead, he goes with this almost gentle approach to spreading the word about Bitcoin. It's like he gets that not everyone's going to have that orange pill moment right away.
Yeah, some people need time to come around.
They need patience. They need to feel like they're being brought along, not yelled at.
So it's about education, not confrontation.
Exactly. He even says, Satoshi, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Which, wow, that's a bold statement.
It is, but I think it shows he understands.
He understands that resistance to Bitcoin, it often comes from fear.
Or just not knowing, not understanding.
Not necessarily being malicious.
Right. It's not always intentional.
And that's important because if you want Bitcoin to succeed, you need more than just a small group of hardcore believers.
You need the masses to come along.
You got to bring people along, educate them, show them the potential without making them feel attacked.
Exactly. Meet them where they are.
So, looking back at all 21 of Saylor's rules, what's the big takeaway? What have we learned?
Well, I think these rules, they show how deeply Saylor believes in Bitcoin.
He's all in, that's for sure.
He sees it as more than just, technology or an investment.
It's bigger than that.
Way bigger. It's a catalyst for change, a shift in how we think about money, power, freedom.
He's asking us to leave our comfort zone, step outside the traditional system.
Embrace something new, even if it feels a little scary.
Whether you agree with him or not, you can't deny he's making us think.
Challenging the status quo, that's for sure.
He uses this analogy of Bitcoin as a virus, spreading a new way of thinking. So what do you think about that? Is Bitcoin a good virus, a force for good? Or is there a danger to it spreading unchecked?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? On one hand, it could empower people, break down those old power structures.
You could.
But on the other hand, it's growing so fast, it's volatile, there are risks.
It's a tightrope walk for sure.
It is. This deep dive, it's just a glimpse into Saylor's vision, a taste of what he sees coming.
And if you want the full meal, the whole enchilada, check out his full keynote. Just search Michael Saylor 21 Rules of Bitcoin on YouTube.
You won't regret it.
Until next time, keep those laser eyes focused and stay curious out there.